Hi there, Dr. Gary here on the road. We sell dental practices nationwide. We're dental practice brokers. Today's topic is, how can I sell my dental practice privately to an individual dentist at 90% of gross? What are the criteria? We're going to get into that. So as you know, we now have 10 employees. We're in over 20 states. And we are now, hold on one second. We're now open 363 days a year. You can reach us except Christmas and Easter. So give us a ring. We have a great team of 10 employees. It's working out fantastic. Now, we're available to you from 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. East Coast time. Our phone number is 201-663-0935, and our website is dentalpracticeguide.com or nationwidedentalpracticebrokers.com. So give us a call. Even if you just want to chat, there's no charge to have a nice chat. Everything you're about to hear is not for legal advice or business advice. It's only for entertainment. Now, if you're selling to a DSO, call us. We know who they are. We know how to work with them. We know who the best ones are. Often they will pay our commission, so there's no commission to the seller. And on top of that, when you work with us, we'll get your legal fees based on certain criteria. Get your legal fees reimbursed upon successful closing. So just give us a call. We're there for you. So what does it take? What's the criteria? How do you sell your practice for 90% of gross? What is the, what's the criteria? What is the game plan? How do you get it done? We actually have a few of them right now being sold privately. These are doctors that don't want to sell to a DSO. There are a few $1 million that they're grossing, and they don't want to sell to a DSO. They only want to sell to a private person, and most of them do not want to stay on the 3 to 5 years that the DSOs want them to stay on. But they have premium practices. What I mean, these are practices over $2.5 million. You don't have to put any money into them. They're pretty much all state of the art. Everything you could imagine. I can't believe you would spend anything at these practices. And I have a few of them right now. Over $2.5 million, over 5-6 operatories, great staff, well established, little combination PPO fee for service. But these are Class A, unbelievable practices. And they simply don't want to work for the DSOs because they don't want to stay on the length of time. Maybe they'll stay on a year and a half, that's it. But most DSOs want you to stay on longer. And they want to sell to an individual dentist, and they do care about the money, but and DSOs, you'll certainly get a lot more money, but instead they say, look, I want to sell 90% of gross. That's what I want. I'm not financing anything. They have to get the financing themselves. It's 90% of the gross. That's what I'm looking for. And then I'll sell, but it has to be the right individual. But once again, practices like this, and of course, with the cost of renovating an office is astronomical, these are practices that are fully computerized, digital, paperless. A lot of them have milling machines, iTero scanners, CAT scans, the best of the equipment. This is like over the top. You're not gonna spend any money on any physical improvements or whatever. If so, it'd be very, very little. There's hardly anything you're going to spend money on. So these are walk-in condition. Now, it's not just the physical plans, and it's not just the gross income. It's also their management system and their staff, of course. You're buying an office that is fully staffed, fully turnkey, ready to go. It is ready to go. You don't have to do anything. You have a staff that's fine-tuned. So those are the kind of practices that can command 90%. And I have a couple of them right now for sale. And now, you could go to your bank and they're going to tell you, well, it doesn't cash flow. Well, neither does a practice that you build from scratch that costs you $800,000. There's zero cash flow. No staff, no patients, nothing. So that doesn't cash flow either. So you can't tell me Because somebody wants to spend 90% that they can't cash flow it. It will cash flow. You've got to be with the right banks. We know the banks that will do it. Okay? Obviously, your buyer has to be a really, really strong buyer that was producing well over $1 million as a producer. Like producing 1.5, 1.8 as a producer minimum. So we'll bring on the right people. We'll get all the attorneys taken care of. We'll get the staff taken care of. We're gonna on everything. It's all gonna be done for you. These offices that 90%, again, your accountants will say it doesn't cash flow. Your banks will say, we can't finance that much. But if they see the buyer as a solid candidate, they'll go the distance. But still, you'll get the advice from them. So it's beyond cash flow. It's like, we know what it costs to build. This is in a great area. This is fully staffed. All the equipment is fantastic. This is worth it to the buyer. We don't want the buyer buying something they're going to get overwhelmed with. But most of these practices, even though they're grossing $2.5 million or more, most of them still have room for some improvement, usually through marketing, advertising, or some new dental, procedures that can be done. There is always some room for improvement. So that's why these doctors would purchase something at $2.5 million at 90% of that. It's close to $2 million. They'll do it. Is there a lot of buyers that will pay 90%? Minimal number. But these buyers are go-getters. They're making big bucks. They know that they can make money too. So they'll buy it. And we have a very limited, some of these practices we don't even advertise because we don't want to waste anybody's time. We'll just selectively choose the buyer that I already know sometimes or have worked with in the past. But this can happen. We can make this happen at 90%, and it's happening as we see right now. So, and I'm very excited about it. So it can happen. You've got to have the criteria right. You've got to be the right buyer to buy it also. You've got to be the right seller, that everything fits, everything falls in line. Equipment, location, staff, management, everything is like clockwork. It just clicks. And you can make that happen. So we're here. Call us. We're always getting new videos. Hopefully you like them. If you hit the subscribe button, you'll be alerted when we get a new video. We just got back from Maryland. Great offices down there we saw. I think there's some good opportunities there. So we'll let you know about that. We should be advertising those soon. Remember, you can only get our in-house sheet or flow sheet of practices for sale. You can only get that when you sign the non-disclosure agreement. Then we'll send that out like every month or so. All right, or every 6 weeks. We should be getting another one out soon. All right, the Australia trip was great. We're having a great time. We're already planning the next one, January 2025. Get ready for the next one. Check the brochures and the flyers. We're going to be there. It's going to be fantastic. We are excited. It's going to be good times, and I love being at the beach. The only problem is I put on like 9 pounds. I was going to get killed. Oh, man. Those buffets and the sit-down dinners. I mean, how can you avoid that? We'll figure out a way. But we're going. Let's have some fun. Come on the cruise ship. It's going to be great. Bye.